Good evening and welcome to the April 15th, 2015 Town Board meeting. I'll officially call the meeting to order. I'll ask our before I do that, I'll ask everyone in the audience as well as the board if they'd please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Now we'll ask our clerk if she would please call the roll.
Cole?
Here.
LaFountain?
Here.
Metzler?
Here.
Moore?
Here.
Quinn?
Here.
Okay, before we get started with our official business, and that's the first item is a public hearing, I would like to just take a minute and recognize Bernadette Bunny Brinkman, as well as Town Councilwoman Linda Cole. And if the two could come together at the lectern here, we'll present a special recognition award.
Okay. So it's National Library Week, April 12th through the 18th. And we have a proclamation to our town librarian. I shall read it. Whereas libraries create potential and possibilities within communities, campuses, and schools, and whereas libraries level the playing field for all those who seek information, access to technologies, and whereas libraries continuously grow and evolve in how they provide for the needs of all members of their communities, and whereas libraries and librarians open up a world of possibilities through innovative STEAM programming, Little Maker programs, job-seeking resources, and the power of reading. And whereas librarians are trained, tech-savvy professionals providing technology training and access to downloadable content like ebooks, and whereas the libraries support democracy and affect social change through their commitment to provide equitable access to information for all library users, regardless of their race, ethnicity, creed, ability, sexual orientation, gender identity, or social economic status. And whereas libraries and librarians and library workers and supporters across America are celebrating National Library Week. And whereas members of the Penfield community of every age and interest are fortunate to have an outstanding team of library professionals who take pride in excellent customer service, outstanding programs, and demonstrate leadership in their field. And now therefore be resolved that National Library Week is proclaimed for April 12th through 18th, encouraging all residents to visit the library this week and take advantage of the wonderful library resources, unlimited possibilities available at the Penfield Public Library. And this was dated April 15th and signed by our town supervisor, R. Anthony LaFountain. So,
Thank you very much.
and not only is it National Library Week, but the Monroe County Library System has been asking people to vote for their favorite library. Would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, thanks, Linda. The Rochester Regional Library Council holds an annual contest to pick the best public library and the best school library and the best academic library in the service area, which is the five-county region around Rochester. And we, of course, we realize we're very much appreciated by the service area here, the people who live in Penfield, but if you would like to really show your appreciation, we would love it if you could go to the website of Rochester Regional Library Council, which is rrlc.org, and vote for us as the best public library in the five-county Rochester area.
Voting ends on the 18th, on Saturday, so there's still time to vote.
There's plenty of
And there's a link right on the front page of the Town of Penfield, Town of Penfield website. It's also been on the...
It's on the library website as well, which is
Facebook page.
And Facebook. So it's penfieldlibrary.org.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll just make one comment, if I may. I've had an opportunity now for several years to work very closely with Bunny and her team, and we're very fortunate that Bunny is the librarian here in Penfield, and the great support that we receive from all of her staff members to support Penfield and many of the surrounding communities. So, Bunny, thank you for all of your efforts. Congratulations on Library Week, and thank you for everything that you do each and every day.
Well, thank you, and we really are used by this community, so that gratifies us, and we have great support from the town administration, too, which allows us to provide all the services we do to the residents of the town. Thank you very much.
And let's not forget the Friends of the Penfield Library as well.
And the Friends of the Library, who work tirelessly all year long to raise funds so that we can institute innovations in the library.
So, great. Thank you, Bunny. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to our regular agenda, and I'll ask our clerk to please read the legal for our public hearing.
To consider relief from Resolution Number 13T-156 pertaining to permitted hours of operation of the outdoor dining area for Jeremiah's Tavern located 2164 Fairport 9 Mile Point Road. The legal notice was published in the Penfield Post on March 26, 2015, and posted on the town website and the town bulletin board. 42 postcards were mailed.
Great, thank you very much. Mr. Horwitz, is this properly before the board?
Yes, it is.
Thank you very much. I would ask that the applicant please come to the podium and please give us your name, address. We do have the information, the materials that you did submit. However, we'd ask for the record that you tell us why you're here and what you would like to see happen.
My name is Jeff Reddish. I live at 4 Old Landmark Drive in Pittsford, and I'm here tonight to ask that our hours of operation get extended at Jeremiah's in Penfield to match the hours of operation for the inside.
Okay. And so, you know, certainly one of the things that this board had talked about when we originally went through the approval process for this, and certainly a number of neighbors that were here at the time and are here tonight, you know, the concern is in around noise. And so would like you, and I have Mr. Costello here because I know there's a couple of components. Certainly there is the noise concerns as it relates to the outdoor dining or the outdoor patio area. There's also been some ongoing noise issues as it relates to trash collection. And so I just ask a little bit of an update
Sure.
in and around that aspect of things.
As far as the trash goes, we've had, I think, 2 separate incidences where that's happened, and I believe it was about 3 or 4 months ago. And I called the trash company, and it seemed to be working out very well. And then I guess just a couple weeks ago, there was another incident, and I just got off the phone with him, and he assured me it wouldn't happen again. So I told him that if it does happen again, then we're going to have to find another person to do the trash. As far as the noise from the outside patio, I'm not so sure. We did have a lot of incidences where there was excessive noise from the patio. I think we did a pretty good job of answering a lot of questions that were out there when we opened as to what Jeremiah's was all about. And I'm there all the time, and if there's ever any complaint that needs to be taken care of, then it can be taken care of. All they have to do is call the restaurant or call me, and we'll get right on it. But as far as noise coming from outside activities, I don't believe there were many incidences at all. So we really think we're doing a pretty good job with
Did you have
that.
anybody call you directly or come to the restaurant directly when the noise was occurring at any of those times?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay.
Are you planning to do anything more around the patio for buffering of any sort?
I have some drawings here. Would you like to see them?
Yeah.
This is a permanent structure that would be attached to the side of the building that will, I believe, will suppress some of the noise that will be coming from the speakers. Right now, they're just on the side of the building and they just come straight off. I believe that with this permanent structure in place, I believe the speakers will kind of be buffered by that structure.
What are we looking at?
Well, it's a permanent structure.
Looks like
there.
an extended,
It-
an extended pergola.
It's an awning. It's a permanent awning.
So it's going to be facing in what direction? Will it be from the roadside, an awning?
No, not on the roadside where the patio is. It's coming off the patio
Facing
doors.
what, north?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeff, tell us a little bit about your experience so far with the restaurant. You know, I mean, I have to admit, I've been in there a few times. Last time, I think it was a Friday night. It was a little bit later on a Friday night. And I was impressed with the amount of families that were in the restaurant. I mean, I was kind of shocked, quite
Yeah.
honestly. That a little bit later at night, I was with my family. I've got an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old. And we were coming back from an event, so we stopped in to get something to eat. And I know that you've tried to cater towards families just as much as you've tried to cater towards, you know, adults and getting involved in the Penfield community, sponsoring sports teams, youth sports teams, and so forth. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Well, we're very happy with the results. We knew that when we were building it that it was going to be more of a family restaurant than our first location on Monroe Ave. So we're happy with supporting all the different teams when the kids are coming in. That makes us all happy because wherever the kids go, the parents go with them. So we're very happy with the way things have gone so far.
Jeff, what?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay. What are the current hours for the patio?
During the winter, we scaled back a little bit, but during the summer, we'll be open till 2 o'clock.
The patio?
No, the patio, I think at the resolution is, I believe, 11 or 12? I think it's 11.
Okay. And what hours would you like to propose?
We'd like to match what we do on the inside.
Which is
It will be 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock a.m. on the inside?
1 o'clock.
Yeah, I believe the written request said 1 a.m. I think that might be why he's asking from your manager.
Is it 1?
is it?
Okay, all right.
I might be mistaken.
No, it's
Definitely.
1
Okay.
o'clock.
One
It is,
a.m.
okay.
11, yeah, to extend the hours from 11 p. to 1 a.
Okay.
Is what you indicate in your letter
All
of
right, that's-
February,
yep, my
February
fault.
5th.
Yeah.
But the inside is 2 a.m.?
Yes.
So Jeff, as I take a look at this initial sketch here, essentially what you're proposing to do on the north face is to extend what I'll call a shed roof, if you will, or a roof that extends out. And I don't see the dimensions on that. Do you have a rough idea as to what that is
It
as
will
it
be-
goes out from the existing base
How
of the
far it
building?
comes out?
Yeah.
I believe it is around 10 to 12 feet. And there are 2 trees that are in the middle of the patio, and they come out, the edge of the roof comes to pretty much the edge where the trees are. Part of the idea of the whole structure also is if it rains right now, we really don't have any place. If we're full on the inside and we have a full patio, we were very lucky towards the end of the summer to not have that problem of a big rainstorm coming in. So having that will definitely help us protecting people from the rain. But it really goes from door to door, the outside of each door, as far as the length goes.
I see that on the north elevation where that is.
I can get clearer dimensions for you and email them to everybody.
Looks like it goes about almost a third into the patio. Like if you're standing in the parking lot, it looks like it's to scale, about a third in.
Is it the same color as the
It will
building
match,
on
yes,
the
it'll
roof?
match what we have. Yes.
And the reason for, so certainly what you said, you're looking to closer match
the hours of the restaurant itself. What have you been hearing as to why you want to take it from 11 to 1, from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m.?
It was very difficult for us to have people out in the patio enjoying themselves and telling them they had to go inside. It's a very difficult thing to do to a customer who's come in and spent a lot of money in your place and then tell them they have to go inside. So we
And
put a
you-
new fire pit out there, and people really enjoy hanging out around the fireplace, having a glass of wine and smoking a cigar or something like that. And, it's a very relaxed, laid-back atmosphere that time, after the dinner hour.
Now, Jeff, regarding the complaints that came in, you said that nobody ever came directly to you or your manager that you know of, so.
Nope.
So there was never any complaint where on the spot you could address it? It was more
Nobody,
after the fact.
I know no one came to me.
Okay.
And
And then also, do you recall, were the complaints only during football games?
there was
there any
one,
that were not?
there was one complaint during a football game. I think it was a Bills game. They scored a big touchdown.
Okay. Any that were outside of, on like a regular non-football day, do you recall? Okay. And
There was one other time when we left the speakers on by mistake.
and were any of the complaints later than 11 o'clock at night? 10 o'clock at
No.
night? They were all during the day? I'm trying to recall. Jim might have a
I think
better
Jim would-
recollection.
Yeah, I don't have the notes in front
Were
of me.
there any
but I don't think
evening
so.
or nighttime complaints about noise?
Jim, if you would, for the record.
Because that was my
For the record,
recollection, was that
please.
there weren't, as far as increasing hours, there weren't any complaints.
I have not received any nighttime complaints. I did get an email from Michael Young. I guess they were adjusting the speakers or something one night, and he said that was a one-night situation, but that was it.
Okay.
And this request is to go from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. All evenings that you're open, not just specific evenings, not on a Friday night or a Saturday night, but all evenings.
Yes.
And for year-round as well? Or, because I know you said you scaled back in the fall and
Yeah, we
Winter.
won't need to have it open during
obviously during the wintertime.
during the wintertime.
Board, other questions or comments?
Is there an opportunity perhaps, assuming you stick with your refuse hauler, to join up with the other businesses there, either to use the same person, so that perhaps there's a way that, it can be streamlined? The refuse collection, probably get a break in price, I would assume, too, if you can work with Doodlebugs and Panera, and, you may have they may have preferences, but I'm just wondering if there's a way to streamline that, so that in the event that there is a complaint, you've got, safety in
Sure.
numbers, everybody can address it, but it's also, you can hopefully bet that you're going to have one pickup, one loop through.
Sure.
Would you be interested in entertaining that
I
with
could
your
look into
neighbors
that.
there?
Yeah, I could look into that. Yeah, I think it would be up
Just
to
might
them
be it might
if
be
they
a
want
good
to join
idea
in,
to-
but I'm friendly with the guys who own the company, and they usually do a very good job, so I'm surprised that this happened on the second time. So I'll contact Panera and Doodlebugs and see if that'd be something they're interested in.
So, Jeff, how many times do you have a collection at that location?
We are 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
So you're Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I noted that one of the times that where there was a pickup was on the 29th of March, which is a Sunday. And you don't have any collection on a Sunday?
The only way, if there was a holiday before that, that would be the only reason they'd be working on a Sunday, but other than that, they typically don't work on a Sunday.
Okay.
I'm not sure if there was or not. And they typically don't work on Saturdays either. In fact, I know they don't because they won't pick me up on Saturday. So I don't think that would have been us if it was on a weekend.
Okay. All right, so the indication that we have is that there was a truck that was behind your location on the 29th, so that was observed as picking up at that time at approximately 5:15 a.m.
They saw it.
Yeah.
I'll have to call the company and see if they worked that day,
Okay.
but I highly doubt it. And again, if there was a holiday, that's the only way it would push it back. It would, if it turned,
Yeah, I
But that would be a
don't
two-day
believe the
holiday.
29th was a holiday. The
Yeah.
29th of March was a holiday, so. Okay. Board, other questions or comments?
Well, just one quickly. I'm still surprised that there is no gate at that opening on the patio. And from my earliest recollections of the actual drawings, maybe a year and a half ago now, there looked to be a gate in that position. And I don't know if that was a decision at some point to remove the gate from the actual structure, or what the reasoning was behind it. But I think this is more for Jim, to take another look at that and to see if there should be a gate in place. Personally, I think there should be a gate there to differentiate between the patio and the sidewalk going out into the parking lot. But that's just a comment on my part. I just want to remind someone, Jim, to look that up, because I remember seeing it in the original drawings. So, and I think there should be one there. So.
Okay. Right. Other comments, Board? Okay, so certainly, one of the reasons we hold public hearings is to give neighbors and other interested parties an opportunity to speak either for or against a particular project. I know we do have a number of individuals that have signed up. I'll ask our clerk to go through that list, if she would, please.
Rosemary Carey.
Welcome, Rosemary.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
I spoke at the last meeting when there was a question about Jeremiah's. I live at 24 Canterbury Trail, which is just on the opposite side of wouldn't it be wonderful if we had a tree barrier from the area where Jeremiah's is? And at the last meeting, I guess I was a little bit disappointed that the plans were moving forward. But I spoke to my husband, and we felt that, in all fairness to the business community here in Penfield, we should give them the opportunity to conduct business and judge them on their performance. And it was my recollection that at the last meeting, it was stated that Jeremiah's would have to be open for a full season, like an outdoor season, to really prove that the measures they have in place worked for the community and for the neighbors. Jeremiah's opened in late, like September timeframe, October, I'm not sure of the date. But when they opened, my husband and I said to one another, well, they're going to have to go through the spring and one full outdoor season before they can petition for extended hours. And now here we are at the beginning of the outdoor season, and they're asking for the hours to be extended until 1 a.m. We have no track record. And the complaints that you're talking about, we barely had 2 months of an outdoor season for them to show goodwill towards the neighbors, that they could maintain a community atmosphere and minimize the noise. I am completely willing to let them demonstrate to us that they can do what they said they want to do, and that is to be good neighbors. And in my estimation, 2 or 4 weeks in the fall does not give us the opportunity to ensure on everyone's side that they're walking the talk. I have nothing against Jeremiah's. I have friends that go there and said, Rose, this is not a rowdy crowd, you know? There are a lot of families that go there. I believe that. But the people that are going out into the patio until 1 o'clock in the morning are not your typical family clientele. There are people that are going to be out there drinking and listening to music and yelling at the football games or replays of football games or whatever until 1 o'clock. So until they prove over the whole summer from this point until the fall when it's too cold to be out there, that they can maintain the demeanor that we want in our neighborhood, I totally object to this. And I have, as I said, I want to reiterate, I have nothing against Jeremiah's, but can they walk the talk? I don't think they've demonstrated that they can do that.
Okay, great, thank you, thank you.
Keith Wilson.
Good evening, Keith Wilson, 38 Canterbury Trail. I actually live almost directly behind Jeremiah's, and I'm a typical homeowner, just like anybody else. Work outside during the weekends, do yard work and all that. And it was shocking to me when I was out there over the weekends. I go, oh, the deck's open. I can hear the deck. Not just on a sports day, like a Sunday or anything like that, but I could hear noises coming from the deck. Now, at that time, I'm thinking, well, Jeremiah's just open. I'm not going to complain. Maybe it's just getting everything settled. Let them go through time and see what happens. I remember one Sunday, my wife and I were out there, and we went, oh, the Bills scored. That's cool. They must have scored. Huge yell. A little while later, yeah, the Bills did something again. That's a Sunday. Saturdays, same thing. I could hear some noises, not so much yelling and screaming, but you can hear the noise, you know, way in the background. Not every minute of every day I was out there. So I want to make that clear. Not every minute, not every day, but you could hear. Now, the interesting thing was this was during the day when lawnmowers are cutting grass, people are out yelling and screaming. So this noise was coming over that noise. Now, in the evenings, I really wasn't spending a whole lot of time outside, so I can't comment too much around the evenings. Although, I certainly heard people who forgot how to open their cars and clicking the button, whatever, and the alarms going off. That woke me up a couple times. People spinning their wheels trying to get out of the parking lot. That woke me up. But from sitting outside during the fall, I wasn't out much, so I didn't hear too much about the evening time, what was going on. Now, what I'm concerned about is coming this spring and the summer. I'll have my windows open, should be able to have the breeze coming in. My bedroom faces Jeremiah. There's a good chance I'll be hearing the noise. And so I'm a little concerned about, you know, what's going to happen at 1 a.m. when I'm hearing somebody yelling out there because they've had too much to drink, or yelling as we heard about sports maybe on the TV. It's going to interfere with my sleep, bottom line. I mean, come on, Jeremiah's butts up against a residential neighborhood. We know that. That's one of the big issues we had last time. So I'm against keeping them open to 1 a.m. 11, yeah, I'm probably going to be woken up a few times over the summer because of the noise. Well, okay, I'll live with that. But 1 a.m., that's going too far. So I'm against this.
Okay,
Okay?
great, thanks, Keith, thank you.
Suzanne Wilson.
Hi, Suzanne.
Good evening. Suzanne Wilson, 38 Canterbury Trail. In my notes, I have that Jeremiah's open on August 19th. Is that correct? August 18th. Therefore, this summer season, was just ending. We have not had a full summer season, and as Rose said, we can't go by history to comment on whether or not we can live with whatever goes on that patio after 11 o'clock. I do want to comment that back in September, on September the 10th, I sent an email to Mr. Costello and a copy to Mr. LaFountain about the noise that I heard coming from Buffalo Bill's Sunday activities off the patio. I also sent an email, again, to Mr. Costello and to Mr. LaFountain on September 15th. Same reason, all the noise coming from the patio on Football Sunday. I sent another email on September 23rd. Same people, Mr. Costello, Mr. LaFountain, again. And I was trying to chronicle and just put into the record that I did hear all this noise. So I wanted you folks to know that. And then the last Sunday in September, the 28th, in addition to Mr. Costello and Mr. LaFountain, I sent the email to the board members just to let you know, again, I heard the noise coming from the patio on Football Sunday. And I also did mention that that week on Wednesday night at approximately 10:45 p.m., my husband and I were awoken to the sound of a motorcycle revving its engine, sustained for several minutes, coming from the west, which is where Jeremiah's is. It's west of our house. So yes, I did chronicle my complaints. And if there's going to be noise this summer, I will likely chronicle it as well. I did not think to call the proprietor, but if that's something I have to do, I will do that. And I guess in close, I'm a little skeptical to think that you would consider extending the hours right now, maybe next year at this time, after we've had the full summer season behind us. You guys can talk about it and see how things went this summer. I don't think it's time right now to, do a pro or a con on it. I just don't think we have enough history. And the last thing I have here is the noise ordinance for the town. There's a couple points here that mention audible noise extending beyond 50 feet of a property line after the hours of, after 11 p.m. at night. My house is clearly beyond 50 feet. So I'm going to say that if at night I'm hearing anything after 11 p.m., it's in violation of the town's noise ordinance. So if you will allow the proprietor to extend his hours right now, I'm afraid that you can't renege on it. If you let him do it, I don't think it's going to be easy to take it away. So I'm just hoping that you guys hold off, give him another season, well, at least one season of summer, because we still have Memorial Day to go through, we have the 4th of July, and I'm hoping that we can see how that goes and then make a decision perhaps next year. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Suzanne.
Dan Mooney?
Hi, my name is Dan Mooney. I live on Bronson Drive. I agree with everybody, what they're saying about the hours not to be extended to 1 a.m. I've heard them, but not as much as the people on Canterbury Trail. But the one thing that has been bothering me is the smell that we're getting on Bronston from the outdoor cooker when they're doing briskets. I've been out walking my dog at 9 o'clock at night. I've noticed the smell at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I sent an email to Jim Costello, and I thought it was coming from the restaurants. not realizing it was coming from an outdoor smoker. I don't know if this was ever discussed about this, but I think that there is an invasion too of our quality of life. So I am against Jeremiah opening up till 1 o'clock. I'm against the smoker also that is going through the air into Bronson Drive, and I live right on the cul-de-sac. So I hope that, and I didn't know that they had a year, what do you want to call, waiting period, okay, to see if the hours are going to be extended to 1 o'clock or not, but I feel that we should stay till 11 and go through the cycle of the seasons. That's it. Thank you.
Great. Dan, thank you very much for coming in.
Mike Young.
Hi, I'm Mike Young from 46 Braunston. I've been to all these meetings, so I know everything that's gone on, and I know there was a lot of concern about the hours before when we had them extended to 11 rather than 10, what they were in the original resolution. At the time, I know it wasn't in the resolution, but Mr. LaFountain had assured us that it would be a full season, not just a few months until we considered it again. But I know it wasn't in the resolution, so we have to look at it again. That said, I really don't have too much problem with the noise over there. I haven't heard people noise coming from over there. I don't mind if the hours are extended for people being out there. My concern is the speakers that are out there. The only time that I did complain was that the speakers were on after 11 at night. I emailed Mr. Costello the next day. I had less than a month-old baby at the time. I was very tired. I wasn't in the mood to, go through a whole hassle of contacting them and going through that. But you can hear the speakers on Braunston. You can hear them during the day when they have the football games going on. My concern is if we extend it into the nighttime, you'll have Sunday night football, Monday night football. Do we leave the speakers on then? What if the Bills have a Monday night game? Are we going to have people out there till, 1 in the morning? I mean, the football games go late on the night games, out there listening to the games loudly on the speakers. So my main concern is the speakers, not so much the people out on the patio. I don't mind having the patio open later. So that's all I had to say. Thank you.
Thanks, Michael.
That's all I have.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone in the audience that did not sign up but would like to address the board on this matter? Yes, sir. Mr. Kubis?
My name is Tom Kubis, 52 South Village Trail,
Mr. Kubis, could you spell your last name, please?
Kubus.
Thank you.
We live just south of the Forever Wild to where the development is. My only complaint or concern is, we talked about the garbage, but last Friday at 5:15 a.m., garbage was picked up. I don't know if it was Panera or Jeremiah's, but there was some garbage pickup there at 5:15 last Friday. It's not an hour I'm normally up, so that kind of is disturbing. Just wanted to get that on record.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much. And that was this past Friday the 10th.
Friday the 10th.
Excuse me. Thank you. Yes, Ann?
I'd be the only one not getting up here. Ann Kubis, 52 South Village Trail. I wanted to clarify about the garbage. You had mentioned a March 29th date. That was probably from the letter that I wrote.
It was.
And I misspoke. In my letter, it would have been Monday the 30th. And that was also, I believe, at 5:15, because I'm up at 5:15, and I can actually see the trucks through the trees. So I know that it's trucks from Jeremiah's. And then it was again, I think, on Friday.
The 3rd.
Well, the 3rd, and then you, Friday the 10th, right?
Friday the 10th.
So there's been, since the good weather has started, the whole trash issue has started up again. There was a period of time where it had gotten better, and I think it was after we had sent a couple emails to Jim, and things had kind of calmed down, and now it has kind of all kicked in again. So, and I can see the lights through the trees, so I know it's not Panera, because their garbage trucks are on our side of the Jeremiah's building, so just to clarify all that.
Got it.
And obviously, I am opposed, clearly, of extending the hours. And I believe you got a letter from our next-door neighbors, Dennis and Monica Gorlick.
That is correct.
And have you all had a chance to read?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Well, I'll speak for myself,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
I think the board has seen it because we have discussed it, so I'm making the assumption that they have all seen it,
Okay,
yes.
very good. All right, because I promised her I would make sure that
Yep.
you all had
Absolutely.
seen her letter. Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to address this matter? I don't see any potential first-time speakers, but maybe any second-time speakers that may like to address. Please.
I'm just looking at the resolution here, and on the last page of the resolution, it doesn't say anything about a year anywhere in the resolution. It is an appropriate time frame until the business is well established, and is it assured that the business has operated on a sustained basis in compliance with the requirements of the Penfield noise ordinance. Once a positive record has been established to the board's satisfaction, it will permit the application to request further extended hours and live music on the patio. We opened up in the middle of August, and we were very fortunate to have 3 very good months weather-wise. So we really have a history of 3 months of operating out there. And I personally have done everything possible to try and make all of the neighbors feel comfortable with Jeremiah's being there, and we will continue to do so. I apologize for the garbage. I wouldn't want to be woken up at 5:30 in the morning either. So I will do everything I can to correct that situation. As far as cheering, that's a tough one. I think you're going to have that when the Bills score. It's definitely, people want to cheer, but they don't have a lot to cheer about lately because of the Bills. But I just believe that we're going to do everything we can as a business to make all our neighbors as happy as they possibly can be, and we'll continue to do that.
Okay, and just let the record show that that paragraph that you read was from the July 17th, 2013 resolution, page 3, second to the last paragraph, just for the record's purpose. Okay.
Thank you.
Don't go too far, just in the event. I would ask, Board, any other questions that you might have for the applicant?
Not at this time.
No.
Okay. I would ask Mr. Costello, is there anything that was not put into the record that you believe is appropriate to be added to the record? Okay. Yes, Michael?
I just had one question. Is the live music on the table for this as well?
It is not. It is for extend the hours at this time.
Okay, but they'd have to come back.
That's the discussion.
They'd have to come back and do something else for that.
That is correct.
Okay. That's all. Thank you.
I think the resolution even says no live.
Right. Okay. I'm sorry. I left off Mr. Costello. Nothing more to be added to the record at this time, Mr. Costello? Okay, thank you. Yes, Rosemary, please come forward, because we do tape this, and we don't get it all unless you're right into the microphone.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify, what is the topic of discussion now? Just so that we understand.
The topic of discussion is extending hours of operation of the patio from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m.
And what does that include? That just includes people can sit out there and drink?
That use of the patio. Yeah, use of the patio. So you could be sitting there with or without a drink. You could be sitting by the fire pit.
You could be listening to television?
You could be, consistent with the original resolution. So it's taken the resolution of July 17th, 2013, and proposing to take that from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m.
So I guess I want it articulated. So they're going to have, Jeremiah's will have speakers for the TV, music through the speakers, live entertainment through the speakers on the patio until 1 o'clock. No?
No live entertainment.
No, we're not talking about live entertainment.
We aren't, but we might be talking about music, like something.
Background music,
That's what there is now.
similar to what's there today.
The request.
I guess that I think it's really important that we articulate the details because Mr. Reddish just said, we didn't say a whole year. Well, no, we didn't say a whole year. We said a season. And to me, I think, I wish, because I got on the website and I tried to find the meeting when I was here so I could listen to the audio again. And I thought it was articulated that it was going to be a season for them to establish a pattern of behavior. Now, it doesn't say it in the notes or the minutes, but I think that this is a point that's really important to clarify so that you don't have neighbors like myself kind of getting a little bit excited about something that we're not actually talking about. So if we could just articulate again, what is it till 1 o'clock? Okay, I get that. And then the patio's going to be open, and then what else? Anything else? We could have not live music, but we could have music through the speakers.
Background music.
And we could also have the TV broadcasting whatever, sports or whatever, through the speakers, but not live music.
That is correct.
Okay.
The request is to have everything that can happen at 11 p.m. now extended to 1 a.m.
Well, I guess from my perspective, since I wasn't involved with any of the complaints for the cheering on the football in
Sundays.
September, what I would be concerned about is to expand that, because the football season's not in full swing right now, but what might the neighborhood be subjected to from now until over the summer with these new hours? And I want to make sure I understand that, because I talked to a lot of the neighbors, and I don't want to relay misinformation. So that's why I asked for the point of clarification, because you just asked a question that I didn't think I completely understood. And I'm sorry, I don't know your name. So, okay, now I got it.
And so now is probably a good time to talk about next steps. So what happens from here, the purpose of this meeting.
I can sit
Yep,
down.
absolutely. The purpose of this meeting certainly is to listen to everyone for or against this particular application. The next opportunity that the board could take this matter up would be a week from today. That's next Wednesday. That would be the earliest that we would take it up. I always like to say you need to check the agenda. The agenda typically is published shortly after noon on Friday. And if this matter is on the docket for discussion, it will be on that agenda. In some cases, the board may elect to discuss it. And in some cases, the board may elect to either ask for some additional information. That means that it would be 2 weeks from Wednesday. That would be then the next earliest time. So that'll be something that the board will be taking a look at. But I would encourage you certainly to reach out either to Mr. Cassell or log on at penfield.org, and you can see if in fact it's going to be on the agenda for next Wednesday. And if it is, that is obviously open to the public. We hold our meetings right back here. A number of you have been here before. But again, I would just encourage you to take a look at that resolution. And that would be the next opportunity for this board to have a conversation whether or not we were to allow the extension or ask for a longer time for a little bit more information or track record before we extended those hours. So again, I would encourage you to just keep an eye on our website on our future agendas. Okay, one last opportunity for board. Any questions or additional questions or comments? I would ask any of the neighbors any additional questions or comments. And then I would ask the applicant anything additional that you would like to add to the record at this time. Okay. Seeing none, then this public hearing will be officially closed. And again, check our website for the agenda this Friday after noon, 1 p.m. All right, thank you. We'll move on to our agenda. And this brings us to communications and announcements. And I would start with our clerk, if I could, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. The 15th Annual Ride for Missing Children, sponsored by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, will be held Friday, May 15th, 2015. More than 300 cyclists will ride 100 miles through Monroe County in honor of National Missing Children's Day. Riders will stop at and ride by several area schools in East Rochester, Henrietta, Penfield, Pittsford, Brighton, Irondequoit, Greece, and the City of Rochester to bring prevention education messages to children. Please contact area code 585-242-0900 for more information about this event. Also, Penfield's second annual Stop Hunger Now event will take place this Friday and Saturday, April 17th and 18th at the Penfield Community Center. Last year, 120 volunteers packaged 33,000 meals for shipment overseas, with most of the meals consumed by elementary school children. The event has expanded this year to include Monroe County East Side communities. Our goal was to attract 200 volunteers to package 50,000 meals. I'm excited to report that we have 303 volunteers to date and have already collected $17,000, and because of this, we will be able to package 57,000 meals, which is 24,000 meals more than last year. Anyone wishing to volunteer or to purchase ingredients for packaging, you should contact Jack Best at area code 585-261-0073. And the last item I want to speak of is that last night we held a very successful passport event. 86 people attended the event to apply for a passport or a passport card. They received help to renew a passport and had passport pictures taken. Some attendees took advantage of the help we provided and then were able to go home and mail in their renewal application, saving themselves a $25 county administration fee. For those who may have missed last night's event, I plan to hold a second passport night at the end of the summer or early fall. Thank you.
Or the county will.
I'm sorry, along in conjunction with Monroe County. Cheryl Denolfo.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Move on to Mr. Quinn, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Good evening, everyone. The Monroe County Department of Environmental Services, DES, and the towns of Penfield and Webster and the village of Webster have joined forces again this year to hold an appointment-only household hazardous waste collection at the Webster DPW Garage, 1005 Picture Parkway, on Saturday, April 18th, 2015, from 7:45 a.m. to 1 p.m. Schedule your appointment and learn more at www.monroecounty.gov/HHW. Second, Penfield's annual Spring Cleanup Day will be held this year on Saturday, April 25th. Families, neighbors, clubs, organizations, and individuals are invited to help spruce up Penfield after a long, cold winter. Participants can choose from picking up litter or doing small projects in a park. Either way, you help make Penfield a better place. This is a great opportunity to get community service hours also. To register to participate, please call 585-340-8651 or email srenner@penfield.org. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mrs. Missler.
April is National Autism Awareness Month. Throughout the world, individuals will come together, highlighting the needs and dreams of people living with autism. Nearly a quarter century ago, the Autism Society launched a nationwide effort to promote autism awareness, inclusion, and self-determination for all, and assure that each person with ASD is provided the opportunity to achieve the highest possible quality of life. For more information regarding the Autism Society nationally, visit www.autism-society.org. And locally, you can check out autismup.org. And the town of Penfield is proud to be the home of the Autism Up kite flight every year at Rothfuss Park. So we're proud to support them every year. The next Penfield Heritage Association program, entitled Trash or Treasure, is Sunday, April 19th from 2:30 to 4 p.m. in the Brayman Room at the Penfield Community Center. Bob Klein, a retired teacher and an antique appraiser, will be on hand to appraise some of those items you have in your attic or basement. There will be a table for your treasures, and depending on the number of items, Bob will select those which he will deem most interesting to appraise. He will precede his appraisal time with some general information on antiques. This program is free and refreshments will be served. For more information and to register, visit penfieldlibrary.org. And finally, the Department of Public Works will host its annual spring drop-off at the 1607 Jackson Road facility on Friday, May 8th, 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, May 9th, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. The drop-off is for Penfield residents only, and we will accept general household refuse, metals, concrete, brush, tree limbs, and tires. We will not accept TVs, computers, monitors, propane tanks, grass clippings, leaves, chemical drums, hazardous materials, gasoline, motor oil, paint, or driveway sealer. Again, that's the annual spring drop-off, May 8th and May 9th, 7:30 to 5 on the 8th and 9 to 3 on the 9th. That's all I have for this evening.
Great. Thank you. Two items. Over the last week or 10 days, you've seen some demolition take place on the former Roadhouse Grill down between Burger King and the Hess gasoline station. So I've had a lot of calls, emails, and folks stopping me at different locations within the community, just asking what's going on. And that is going to be the new home of AutoZone. And they look to start construction this spring and be completed this fall. But one of the things that it did do is I think it just brings to the front burner a lot of different activity that's going on in and around the town by way of new construction in our business districts. So in next week's column, I will be highlighting all of the different activities that are going on within our business districts to give everyone a rundown. So it'll be a quick snapshot, and then as we start to see more construction, I'll go into a little bit more detail in and around that. The second item I have is the mulch pile is back by popular demand. We brought it in yesterday, Tuesday, and I will say that it was very active today, so that definitely is a sign of spring. And our highway crews will keep it, the pile there for our residents until such time as we run out of our materials. So if you're interested, it's right here just west of the town hall. Help yourself, and happy spring. Mr. Moore.
Thank you, Mr. LaFountain. Real quickly, the supervisor was talking about the mulch pile. This board did pass a resolution recently calling that mulch pile Mount LaFountain. So Mount LaFountain is available to Penfield residents to use as ambitiously as possible. The 2015 summer recreation brochure is now online. You can read it at penfieldrec.org, and summer events will begin, or registration will begin on May 4th. So please sign up at penfieldrec.org. Also, final tribute to the 150th anniversary of the Civil War is coming on Saturday, May 2nd from 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Penfield Community Center. This year's theme will highlight the last year of war, and commemorate the assassination of President Abraham Lincoln. A full day of lectures is planned, along with representatives from Civil War organizations, historians, and enthusiasts. The event is open to persons of all ages and is co-sponsored by the Penfield Public Library, Friends of the Penfield Public Library, Penfield Town Historian, the Penfield Recreation Department, and the Penfield Heritage Association. No registration is required. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Cole?
Okay, I have 3 announcements. My next community chat will be on Tuesday, April 21st from 5:30 to 7 in the new book area at the library. If you'd like to come by and talk about any kind of questions you might have about the town or just to chat, I'll be there. The Penfield Symphony Orchestra's last concert is Springtime Celebration, Monday, May 4th, at the Penfield High School Auditorium at 7:30. Tickets are available at all Wegmans stores by calling 872-0774 or at the door. Free rides to the concert are available by calling 872-0774. For more information, please go to PenfieldSymphony.org. And my last announcement is that the Penfield Conservation Board, in conjunction with Woody Acres, will sponsor a tree giveaway on Saturday, April 25th, 9 a.m. to noon, at the Penfield Community Center during the annual Penfield Spring Cleanup. The event invites families, neighbors, clubs, organizations, individuals to help spruce up the great town after a long, cold winter, and Penfield residents can choose from a variety of free tree samplings to plant on their property. And I know the plants that aren't, if you don't pick them up, they will be planted in Sherwood Fields or another appropriate park.
All right, great, thank you. And Mr. Horowitz?
I have no announcements tonight, Mr. Supervisor.
Okay, fantastic. We'll move on to public participation. Is there anyone in the audience? There's several ways to participate. If you're in the audience, you can come and address the board on any matter. You can call in at 340-8771, or you can log on at penfield.org. And our first speaker this evening is our county legislator representing the 9th District and my legislator, Debbie Draw. Welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Supervisor, members of the town board. Debbie Draw, 5 Cobblestone Crossing in Penfield, my town of Penfield. First of all, I was going to thank all the residents that came out tonight for the public hearing. As always, it's such a wonderful thing that we're, as the residents of this town, are able to come and express their concerns and issues on anything they have. And I think that's probably a tribute to you all, because that doesn't happen in every area. And I do appreciate that and the good discussion, because we are open to all the businesses here in our town, and it's appreciative to listen to the residents and their issues and concerns, and know that they're being listened to and dealt with, and I appreciate that too. I wanted to thank Amy and the town again for hosting, along with Monroe County, that wonderful passport night last night. So 87 people. That was a great. 86. I'm sorry. It was a great turnout. So I'm happy that we have a wonderful partnership with the county and the town, and we're happy to continue to do that. So, and you stole my flame. I was going to talk about Mount LaFountain, and that we were wonderful. Actually, my neighbors have been asking about when the mulch pile was coming back, so I can now go back and tell my neighbors that the mulch pile, the Mount LaFountain, is back. So thank you again for that. I did want to just mention a couple things. I know the Penfield players are celebrating their 50th anniversary. They're productions and plays in here, and I wanted to just congratulate them, because I cannot attend the dinner, so I did want to thank them and for all that they've done. I've been to many of the performances over the years, so I would encourage any resident that hasn't been to go out and see our community players, because it's not all the towns have that again, and it's a nice. It's a wonderful opportunity here in Penfield. And kudos again to Bunny and our Penfield Library. And I would encourage everybody to vote for Libraries Week this week, to vote for our Penfield Library, to go either on the I think they had it on the screen before, or go to the Penfield Library into the link and vote for our Penfield Library. So that's just all that I wanted to thank people about and mention. And then the one thing that I did want to come tonight as your county legislator, one of the things is I don't think sometimes you know exactly what we do as legislators for our town. And so I thought it was a time to come back, because as everyone's looking around the town and seeing all our potholes and all our roads that are needing in disarray and need a little bit of TLC, we have something, as a legislator, we have committees, which I've mentioned before. I sit on the Transportation Committee, and one of those committees is that we look at any kinds of issues with transportation, the highway, bridges, improvement programs, anything going on in the county. One of the things is we have, and I brought this tonight, the Monroe County Department of Transportation has, every year, we have a highway and bridge improvement program. This is the 2015 program, and if you go by every town, just about every town in Monroe County is listed in here, and in our town of Penfield, there's 3 projects that are going on in coordination with the town and the county. So this actually is available online on the Monroe County website to look at. I also have it. If anybody ever wants to see me, I can be happy to share it with them. And there's also, this is not available, but online, I think it's maybe downtown somewhere, but there's actually a map, which is kind of interesting. It shows you, and I don't know if I should just kind of show you, it shows the entire county, and it shows what's going on as far as culverts, road repairs, paving going on, bridges, anything. So this is done through the Monroe County Transportation under the direction of Terry Rice. So it's an interesting area if you ever want to take a look at it. I think there is a link to this map, actually.
I believe that's right.
And I'd like to leave it, I'm going to leave that with you guys, with you if I may.
That'd be great.
So you could have that and maybe put it, I don't know if you want to.
Actually, we'll put it on a hard mount and put it on a tripod right in our atrium.
I think that would be, yeah. And then you'll see in our town of Penfield, what's going on. Blue, it signifies down here a highway maintenance program out on Salt Road, this one on Plank, and up on, up in North Penfield as well. So
Okay.
it kind of, it's interesting and shows you where the.
If you wouldn't mind giving that to my friend, Mr. Costello.
I will.
Mr. Costello, I'm sure will work with a couple of our new engineering folks that we have, our junior engineer, and we'll get that mounted and we'll put it right in the rotunda.
I think that'd be nice. I think the residents might like to see that. And then lastly, I just wanted to, on a lighter side too, we have our, one of our gems, of course, as everyone knows, is the Seneca Park Zoo. And we have an issue that comes out called Zoo News on spring 2015. I think it's available online. You can access any of this as well. But it highlights, if anybody hasn't been to the zoo lately, I'm sure anybody who's got little children probably has been there quite a bit. I actually was just there because they actually have 6 new penguins, which you probably have heard about, and they're adorable. And so, you know, it's a gem. Not everybody's fortunate communities to have a beautiful zoo like we have. And I think our residents, you know, should take advantage of it because it's here for you. And I just wanted to share a couple things going on in the county. As always, if you have any questions or concerns for me, I enjoy working with you and through the county and the town, and so anything I can do for you, I'm happy to be of assistance. So thank you.
Thank you. As always, we appreciate you coming in and giving us an update of what's going on in and around the county. So thank you for that. Thank you for all your effort,
I should
Debbie.
ask you, what do we do when Mount LaFountain is no longer a Mount LaFountain?
When it is no longer the mountain, then you're going to have to reach into your wallet if you need mulch, because we will run it until we have no more.
Okay.
So
It's replenished, too.
it'll get replenished. We have enough. I always hesitate giving a date when it'll be through, but we certainly have enough through this early spring for anyone that wants it, but don't delay because it always goes very quick. And I was noticing that the quality has increased. We have a partnership that we work with the county. We use their tub grinder, and we actually invested a very small amount of money to have an additional screen put on that helps screen the material a little bit better. So the quality is better, and I think it makes it a lot more useful for our residents. So quality's great. Get it while it lasts, and it's the hottest item in Penfield for the next month.
Thank you. Thanks
All
very
right.
much. Thank you.
Debbie Draw,
Yeah, have a nice
legislator, 9th District,
Thank you.
representing Penfield. Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to address the board on any matter? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to additions and deletions to the agenda. And seeing no additions, deletions, we'll move on to our minutes of March 18th, 2015, and would entertain a motion of approval for those minutes.
I move that the minutes of March 18th be approved.
I'll second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion on those minutes? Seeing none, I'd ask for a roll call vote, please.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
5 ayes.
Thank you. Has the town clerk, town board, town attorney received any petitions since our last meeting? Okay, seeing none, move on to resolution by function, starting with law and finance.
Declaring material and equipment as surplus property and authorizing the release to the Penfield Central School District, Rochester City School District, and Monroe Community High School.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas the Cable Television Department of the Town of Penfield has prepared a list of material and equipment attached here to as Exhibit A as part of this resolution, owned by the Town of Penfield, which has been declared to be surplus to the town's needs. Whereas Penfield Central School District, City of Rochester School District, and Monroe Community Hospital has an interest in a selection of the material and equipment to add to their existing analog systems. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, I'd ask for a roll call vote, please.
Cole?
Aye.
LaFountain?
Aye.
Metzler?
Aye.
Moore?
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
5 ayes. Authorizing the town supervisor to sign a professional service agreement with Larson Engineers to develop and implement a solar PV system for the town of Penfield.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas the town of Penfield, or whereas the town board of the town of Penfield desires to develop and install a solar PV system to serve town facilities and requires professional engineering services to develop and implement the system. Whereas Larson Engineers needs to meet specifications to provide the town consulting services that are necessary to achieve its goal. Thank you.
Thank you. Discussion. Just a couple of brief comments. Last year, we held a public information meeting talking about this particular subject. This is the next step to take a look if we are able to qualify working with NYSERDA for that. And then a report will be made back to this board to talk about what those next steps are. So seeing no further discussion, ask for a roll call vote, please.
Cole?
Aye.
LaFountain?
Aye.
Metzler?
Aye.
Moore?
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
5 ayes. Setting a public hearing to consider a conditional use permit to allow an outdoor dining area at 2124 and 2126 5 Mile Line Road known as Cha-Cha's Wood-Fired Bar and Grill.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas an application has been received by the Penfield Town Board for the issuance of a conditional use permit to Article 3-3-97 of the code to allow an outdoor dining area at 2124, 2126 5 Mile Line Road in the Four Corners District. Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Penfield shall hold a public hearing at the Penfield Town Hall on May 6, 2015 at 7 p.m. on said date to consider the application and to hear all persons interested in the question of the issuance of this conditional use permit. Thank you.
Thank you. Discussion. Seeing none, roll call vote.
Cole?
Aye.
LaFountain?
Aye.
Metzler?
Aye.
Moore?
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
5 ayes. Granting preliminary and final site plan approval to allow the construction of 24 ancillary garages at 1000 Runabout Lane.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas an application has been received by the Penfield Town Board to consider preliminary and final site plan approval pursuant to Article 3-3-94 and Article 11-9-2 of the Code to allow construction of 24 garages at 1000 Roundabout Lane in the LaSalle's Landing Development District. Whereas the Town Board, acting as lead agency pursuant to requirements of SEQR, State Environmental Quality Review Act, conducted an extensive environmental review and overall development at the time it was proposed and adopted a negative declaration for said project in Resolution 12T-218 on October 17, 2002. Since the final phase of the development, 2012. Since the final date of said development is proposed with no modifications from which received preliminary subdivision and site plan approval, there is no need for further environmental review of the proposal. Whereas the Town Board held a public hearing regarding said proposal on April 1st, 2015, whereat no input was received from the public and the public hearing was closed. Be it resolved that by same hereby approved, subject to the following conditions. I'd just like to note, Mr. Supervisor, there's roughly 10 different conditions to this resolution. All conditions basically we've discussed before in the original resolution back in 2012. Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? Seeing none, a roll call vote, please.
Cole?
Aye.
LaFountain?
Aye.
Metzler?
Aye.
Moore?
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
5 ayes. Granting approval for final subdivision and site plan approval to allow the construction of 32 townhomes in Phase 4 of the villas at East Hampton at 65 Maryview Drive.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas pursuant to Local Law 2 of 2003, known as the Penfield Incentive Zoning Law, on June 21st, 2006, The town board granted preliminary overall approval of 124 townhome residents in the Villas at East Hampton subdivision. Whereas the town board has received an application for final subdivision site plan approval for the development of the 32 townhomes. Whereas the town board, acting as lead agency pursuant to the requirements of SEQR State Environmental Quality Review Act, conducted an extensive environmental review of the overall development, and at the time it was proposed and adopted a negative declaration for said project in Resolution 148 of dated June 7, 2006. Whereas the town board held a public hearing regarding the proposal on April 1, 2015, whereas input from the public was received and the hearing was closed. Now therefore be it resolved that the same is hereby approved, subject to the following conditions. Again, Mr. Supervisor, I'd like to point out that there are roughly 20 separate conditions to this approval. All of these conditions are consistent to what we've seen in past resolutions according to the dates mentioned in this specific resolution that this board approved. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
I'd just like to offer, as liaison to the Watershed Management Committee, Supervisor LaFountain also attends the meetings with me. We were able to, at our last meeting, address the concerns of adjacent residents, the Cutums, who had come before this board at a town meeting during public participation to express concerns regarding drainage issues in their yard adjacent to this development. And I'm pleased to report that very promptly the developer met with them, and then they all showed up at our Watershed Management Committee meeting the following Monday. So within less than a week's time, that issue was looked at and addressed and assisted by our town engineer, Mark Valentine. And in this resolution, both in the findings as well as in the conclusions, there is language regarding drainage and assuring that the drainage issues are addressed and checked out prior to the completion of this project. So that was a real good cooperation between the town, our residents who work on the Watershed Management Committee as volunteers, as well as the residents adjacent to the property and the developer. So we're confident that this will move forward without further issues in that area.
Thank you. Other comments? Seeing none, a roll call vote, please.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
5 ayes. Authorization to auction surplus equipment.
Moved.
Second.
Be it resolved that the town supervisor and the director of public works be granted the authority to authorize the attached listing of surplus equipment for public auction. And be it resolved that the town supervisor is granted the authority to amend the attached listing prior to final designation as surplus equipment. And be it further resolved that the following list of equipment be declared surplus and that the director of public works is authorized to enter into an agreement with Roy Teitsworth to auction the equipment. There is a short list of various vehicles and equipment, and then also attached to the resolution is a full listing regarding the vehicles as well as several items of miscellaneous equipment. This is all on the website attached to the resolution for anyone to review, or they can come into Town Hall to review that as well. Be it further resolved that the proceeds resulting from the auction and sale of this equipment will be credited to the appropriate fund.
Great, thank you. Discussion. Seeing none, a roll call vote, please.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
5 ayes. Advertising for bids for Department of Public Works storm sewer catch basin repair and replacement.
Moved. Second. Be it resolved that the Director of Public Works be and is hereby authorized to advertise in the manner prescribed by law for sealed proposals to furnish the Town of Penfield Department of Public Works the following: storm sewer catch basin repair and replacement. Be it further resolved that the storm sewer catch basins covered by the proposals will be in accordance with specifications prepared by the Director of Public Works. Sealed proposals are to be received in the office of the town clerk until May 7, 2015 at 11 a.m., and then and there are to be opened by the town clerk.
Great, thank you. Discussion? This is the second year that we have done this. We found ourselves getting woefully behind in our catch basin repair. Last year, I think we did close to 50 different units, catch basins, and it gave opportunities for our crews to then work on road projects, drainage projects, and those other types of things like MCC, the Penfield School District, and County of Monroe. Seeing no further comments, I'd ask for a roll call vote, please.
Cole. Aye. LaFountain.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
5 ayes. Authorization for supervisor to sign recreation contracts.
So moved.
Second.
This resolution authorizes the town supervisor to sign 16 recreation contracts, and they're all different opportunities that are in the Penn Rec brochure of the different classes and instructors.
Okay, great. Thank you. Further discussion? Seeing none, a roll call vote, please.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Metzler.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
5 ayes.
This brings us to old business. Any old business to come before the board? Seeing none. Is there any new business to come before the board? Again, seeing none. This is our second public participation. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the board on any matter?
Supervisor, I just have one announcement to make, that just so the Brighton Town Board is aware that the Penfield varsity girls lacrosse team defeated rival Brighton 10-3, and the JV girls followed up with a 12-8 win over Brighton. So that was breaking news.
Their defense, of course.
Of course. I was not able to make the games this evening because of this meeting, so I just want to take a moment to reveal that breaking news, and our apologies to our colleagues in Brighton.
So this Friday is our monthly Supervisor Association meeting, and I'll make sure that the current president and supervisor of Brighton, Bill Maley, knows that Penfield rocks. So thank you for that update. Seeing no further business to come before this board, the April 15th, 2015 meeting stands adjourned. Thank you for everyone that participated. Thank you to Penfield TV. And you've got just a few hours before your taxes are due. So good luck with those that are still working on it. Have a great evening.